Yeah, all right. So we just talked about the new guideline, but I think Sheila knows about the new guideline. Anyway, regarding Michael Wilson, she and I talked about it in the clubhouse a little. Michael Wilson is a longtime member. He's a volunteer for the foundation, and he posted a quote without any reflection. And so Sheila posted a comment asking him if he could reflect on it and perhaps lead a discussion, and which is totally fine. And but she didn't know, of course, that I know Michael, that I've known him for like 5 years or so. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's why that we talked about it in the clubhouse, and she said maybe I should hold off. I should not have posted it, and so I wrote a comment to to sort of talk about what she had actually said to him. And then today, when she said she doesn't feel well, I suddenly think, oh dear, I hope that my response to her isn't the reason. If any of you know.
Johanna, I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. Don't take it
Yeah.
personally.
No, I
That's
wouldn't
number
either.
one. And number two is I actually don't think anyone should be treated more special than anyone else. I really don't. I mean, I think then we would drive each other crazy.
We would. True. Yeah. Anyway, I concluded that comment with, I hope you receive it in the spirit it was sent, that I have the full trust that you will be a pro at this job, and you know.
When I say something about that, just to alleviate your concern, I noticed if I read it very carefully, and it sounded like something when I went through a few weeks ago. She said, I can't get her exact wording, but she tried to get over this, but she still felt rotten. That was the gist of it. And I'm sure that your comments would not have caused that. There's been something that's been kind of seemingly spreading around, and a lot of people have just been, you think you're feeling good one day and you go, yeah, I'm ready. And then the next day you're, oh God, I can't
You
do
still
anything.
have the bug. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that's all.
Good.
Well,
Yeah. All right. I don't know if we have a lot of other stuff to discuss, other than perhaps the newbies have a questions.
I mean, I did have a question. It's like not that important and fully was just going to be an email to Kim later, but it was just about the citations because for the post I was going to do on Saturday, I was going to pull something from the text of the course instead of the workbook. And when we do like the parentheticals, I was just sort of curious about how that citation was supposed to appear, but that can fully be an email instead of a thing we discussed.
It doesn't matter as long as you give the place in the text where it is found. It doesn't matter. You can do parentheses. Okay. You can do like a meme, whatever strikes your fancy. As long that when somebody reads it and thinks, "Darn, I want to know more about this," that they have like an indication where they can find it. That's all that matters. And of course, that it's verbatim. Sorry.
Do you have, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to, I cut people off all the time. I'm sorry, Johanna. Josh, do you have access to the web edition or do you know how to find it?
I'm just putting it in right now.
Okay, because this is what I do when I want to get the quote or the citation just right. I'll find that in the web edition, which includes the entire course, not just the workbook. So you can grab something from the text and copy and paste. And when you copy and paste, it will actually put in a link to the web edition automatically. It'll embed the link. So I love it because I know I'm getting the quote right. And then I'm also providing the value for the reader in that if they want to click on the link, they'll be taken to that part of the web edition. So that's just my 2 cents or my piece of advice and what works for me.
Yes, if I can just add into that. Yeah, so I write quite a bit about the course on the group. And I quote, let me put it this way, when I do write, I quote a lot from the course, but that's what I do. I always just copy and paste from the web edition because it inserts the citation with a link to the web edition so they can follow the link and then they read the whole section if they want to. Also, when you highlight it, it gives you the option to copy and also to make a meme. Like if you want to attach a meme to your, so it gets more attention to your post, then you can take pick out the best line in there and then you can pick out a background and all that sort of thing. And
yeah, I don't know if you know about the backgrounds. Do you know about the backgrounds, Josh?
No, but I do now.
There's gorgeous backgrounds.
You get those pictures from in your emails.
Yes, and then you can
Oh,
save
this
it.
is
You
awesome.
can save it as a JPEG to your computer, and then just copy, then just upload it when you're ready.
Yeah. They're actually on the web edition. There's all those gorgeous backgrounds.
Mhm.
Thank
Makes
you
it
so
pretty
much for
easy,
that.
actually.
Good question.
You followed it on the screen share? Did you follow it on the screen share? No?
Oh, yes, very much so. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Yeah.
much.
It's really simple and self-explanatory once you get there. You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who's used computers will immediately see how to do it.
Especially the younger generation. Yay!
Exactly. Exactly.
That'll be something that will strike you in the coming weeks and months. The pace. We have a slow pace in technical stuff. Because when we were your age, we just had regular phones with wires connected to the etc. So it's
I don't know. When you
Think
think
of
about
that.
what you guys have accomplished over the last 5+ years, I think it's pretty rock starry. Seriously.
I'm pretty grounded in desktop computing. I started with a XT computer with no hard drive and DOS 2.0. So I'm pretty grounded on desktops, but the phone stuff and all the little apps and stuff that they use today. Yeah, I use them, but not like these youngsters do. They just
Yeah.
fly through it. It's amazing.
Josh will show us the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Josh, do you even know what DOS is?
I don't.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I thought. I thought you were going to say that.
Before Microsoft had Windows, they had a command line interface, and it was called DOS for Drive Operating System.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I was-
Okay.
And it was what everybody had.
Right.
Oh, wow.
We're talking back in the early 90s. Okay, so.
Yeah, I was really aware of this the other day. I was with an 18-year-old and I kept asking her questions and she had no idea what I was talking to. And I was like, wow, I'm really old now. It's official. Yeah, words and things. And I was like, do you know about this? She's like, no.
Will you stop saying you're old though, for Pete's sakes? I'm really old. You're not old. Come on. How old I am, and I will repeat it for Josh's and Elaine's benefit. When I first went on computer, I'm not joking. You had to wait till the phone rang and you picked it up, and you had a green screen, and it took 5 minutes to have one thing placed in front of you. That was it. I'm not kidding. That's how long ago. And and also Johanna and Alan, I think, are pretty savvy for old folk. And they've saved me so many times because I kind of washed out after I gave up my business. I do the basics, but they're really good to help you and to do what we need doing here. They've been carrying a lot of it over these last years. Anyway.
And thank you, Ardith. And going back to level confusion, Josh, it is really hard to put our minds around. There is no time, there is no age, there is no body. And here we're talking about being old. But just know that Bob wants to say something. Bob, you want to talk about how none of this is real?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can
we
you
can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I have a problem here today. I logged off and then logged back on, and I think you're rebooted. I think it's okay now.
Yeah, we can see you and we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
And I was wondering, Elaine, did you have a question? It looked like your body language was indicating that you had a question.
Not really. I had it's not exactly a question. So, I wondered about, like, if I did post something and mention I was gonna post something like with a selfie, and I was gonna mention something about your daily practice, or Kim and I talked about it. Just mentioned something about. I didn't know if I needed to find a quote to post along with that, to sort of reference, even though I'm not referencing the course, or should I reference the course in some way in that post? Because it's not like the single line questions where I'm asking others to share something. I just wondered about that. That's really my only, it's more of a thought than a question. I'm just wondering on that.
Well, I'll jump
Kim?
in. I'll jump in and feel free to, I think Johanna and Alan might have a different answer. I don't know, but I would love to hear what they think too. I don't think you need to provide a quote if you're providing a reflection and you're talking directly about the course in a general way. I don't think a quote is, I mean, it's nice, but I don't think it's mandatory. So I guess go with what you are feeling called to write about in whatever way, shape, or form that may be. And I just want you to feel welcome and supported no matter what you post. I love the idea of doing a selfie because I know that's something that we had talked about is really making the group feel personal and connected and human, you know? Like we see so many words on our computer, but we don't always see the human presence behind it. So I love that about what you're thinking about doing. So I don't want your words or your post to feel forced or inauthentic or, you know, make sure it's aligned with what you're feeling would be my guidance.
Okay, that makes sense. And I apologize that it took me so long to like catch up with you. Um, because I was just wanted to say part of the reason I stopped doing social media marketing is because no one at any agency would ever post something personal. And this is what we need. We need to hear,
Mhm.
what do you love about your job? And so when you said, there was a couple of, I don't know, something in your email, and I was like, I get it. This is why I stopped doing that, is because it feels so
Yeah.
inauthentic. And I was so excited that I can just do the thing that I wish everyone was doing, which is be
Yeah.
ourselves. Just share our
Well,
enthusiasm and our excitement. And yeah, so
absolutely, 100%. And you know, one thing to add on to that too, Elaine, in the day and age of AI, we are seeing content flooding our Facebook feeds, all of our social media streams. There is no shortage of content. I mean, it is exploded because it's so easy and fast to produce right now. But as a social media manager of other places as well, the real premium will become on authenticity because mass produced content is everywhere. It's inauthentic. Most people can sense if it's written by AI. It kind of lacks a little bit of soul, so to speak. And I use it too. I mean, I think there's a place for AI, but in a group that is trying to foster human connection, I think a little bit of vulnerability, personality, imagery, whether it be a video or your face, whatever you feel comfortable doing, that is where the future of social media will be taking us, is authenticity. So people that can be authentic online are going to win over those that are mass producing content. So thanks for attending my little TED talk there. I feel strongly about it, but yeah.
That was a good TED talk. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
And I think that there is a fine line between oversharing and not sharing. And I think that like sometimes what I was going to say before is that people are going to judge whatever people post, no matter what, because people tend to just like see stuff and have an opinion about it. I know I do sometimes. I'll see something and I'll be like, what? Like the big joke around my house is how many people are going to share their food? Like, are people still sharing every meal? There's nothing wrong with that. But like, that's an example of it's personal. It's very personal. And people aren't sharing food as much. But there was a time where it was like every meal. But then when people share, like, my mother died and here's a picture of her dead in her bed, that to me is like, wow, oversharing. But that person needed to be very personal. They needed to share that. I mean, I personally wouldn't do that, and I'm not saying that this necessarily applies to our group, but I think it comes to a little bit of common sense. Like, what would be helpful for somebody out there? I think sharing something personal about your experience with the course is so beneficial, and even including a picture, so incredibly beneficial. or even a struggle with it. Like, this is what's happening with one of my kids right now, and I don't know how to deal with this. Anyone have any idea? But the way that Tam leads this organization is through fun and play. She wants people to have fun and play, and I would say adventure and experiment. So experiment, Elaine, experiment, everyone. Like, obviously within the guidelines, but experiment. Like, try it with a picture of some of yourself, try it with something else, try it with a quote, try it with not a quote, see where reaction comes in. Just try to have fun with it instead of feeling like, is it okay? Yes, it's okay. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. And then
Yes.
I would love for Johanna to share this like beautiful, elegant experience you had with somebody that you sent an email to. I can't remember his name right now. He's a reverend.
Kenneth Stephen Price?
Wow.
Yeah, who's your friend?
It's in the clubhouse. It's in
Right,
the
right, right.
clubhouse.
Okay, everyone's seen it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it emailed it to me, and because Rebecca and Tam were so touched by it, and thanked you for that heartfelt message, which he lovingly responded to.
And he's a total sweetheart.
And so are you.
So
are you?
I actually he complimented me on the gentleness, and I said, "Well, you're just seeing a reflection of what you are." So
He's interesting. He's a self-ordained reverend, but he's because he still works. I think he works like as a handyman, kind of, with his hands.
construction, yeah,
Construction stuff, yes. But he uses he uses AI. He admits he uses AI, but he does it in a very sincere fashion, if there is such a thing. I think he modifies it he modifies it really heavily because he tells some really genuine stories about himself. He's 12. Has an addiction background. He went through 12 steps and all of that. So yeah. So a lot of his stuff, every now and then I think he's a little off, but for the most part, it's good stuff, and it's very always sincere and genuine.
Nice.
So,
Which
yeah.
church? Not that it matters, but I'm just curious.
No, I don't think he's in a church.
No, the Reverend. Okay, I was just
curious. No. It's just he's just A Course in Miracles Reverend, if you will.
Yeah, and I think it's only recently that he what do you say? He got the accreditation. Is that how you say?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know if he just calls himself that, or if he did one of the mail order things, or
it's like Tam. Well, I mean, Tam became a reverend in church.
Right.
Yeah, this sort of for personal, and I think he would like to have like an online ministry, but he has to work, so he works full time.
At some point, he probably will find a way to do that, because I discovered him some time back, and immediately, you know how you're drawn, that this person is genuine, authentic, and all the rest of it. So that he's decided take a home here, in addition to the other places he is. I think it's a boon for us, because he sets a nice tone, and by Johanna replying in that way, it's reciprocal. And I love his presence there anyway. So
I'm not sure where Vincent is, but maybe we can let him know that you guys are going to be meeting every week, and hopefully he'll be able to join.
And this time slot isn't set in stone. If there's consensus for another time slot, that should be fine. So if this is a difficult time of day for you or time in the week, just let us know, okay?
Okay.
I think one of the reasons that our original mod team, the four of us, were full-time mods, is because we were all basically retired for the most part, So, and we had the time, so it was convenient to meet in the daytime. Well, for me, it's for Johanna it's not, but for the other three of us, it's in the daytime, afternoon.
Mm-hmm. How is it for you, Josh and Elaine, this time? Excuse me,
so far so good for me.
Yeah.
It works for me too. This is a good time. The only reason I missed last week is I was driving. I'm still traveling right now. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I'm having some tests ran, so but this time works great for me.
Okay, good. The thing is that when we have a busy agenda, we'll be talking. Let's discuss A Course in Miracles. The group will be talking about the group the whole hour. But at other times, it's like this. We have one or two topics, and then sometimes we stop at like half an hour or 45 minutes, and sometimes one of us will just go off on a monologue, and everybody's happy, and we're listening, and it's a fun conversation, and we'll just complete the hour. It depends. So it's not always. And if you only have like half an hour, in advance, just add to the comments of the announcement, I can only be there for half an hour. Then we know that if there's business to discuss, we'll have to do it straight away.
Can I ask a question about, do you think maybe,
Sure.
just a suggestion, maybe it might be if there's something that's really big that comes for us that we need to have, can we just make sure that we do record it? Not generally, but I mean, like today you're doing it, but if there's something really big, is it possible to make sure?
Sure.
That
Yeah.
I can't do it. That's why.
No, Laura, is it okay if I ask Keith to take it off I mean, it's an extra job for Keith. I can hear you.
Laura,
He'll
we
let
can
us
hear
know
you.
if he can't do it. I don't think. that's a
Okay,
problem.
so I can just ask him because he's been doing that lately, taking it off the Zoom room and forwarding the link to me. Yeah,
Thanks, Johanna.
yeah, that's not a problem.
And Sheila said last week this time worked for her, and she preferred to do it every week. So I don't think
Okay.
it's going to be a problem
Yeah.
at all, other than
But the thing is, like I said in the message, that we're a team and we have to lean on each other, and it's easier and more natural to lean on each other if you actually know each other. Otherwise, it's sort of like a distant connection that you just hope will work. But if you actually know each other, you've had fun together. It's much easier to rely on each other. Where the rubber meets the road. So that's
Yeah,
our
we're
experience, at least.
we're
Sorry.
typically all Facebook friends together. It makes it easier to message and whatnot. I don't know that I
Yeah.
sent you a friend request, Josh. I need to do that. I think I did with Elaine. So
And just
yeah.
a note on that, and I know I've reached out to a couple of you. I don't always check my direct messages on Facebook, so email is usually the best way to get a hold of me. And it has nothing to do with all of you. I just try to keep all of my foundation stuff in one inbox rather than have it all spread out over different channels. So that's kind of how I operate.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
No, don't please. Nobody
I
did
think
anything
you
wrong.
mentioned it before, but I
No,
forgot which one it was.
it's one of those little things that I just like it that way. And if
Yeah,
you
it
guys
makes
can be
life easier.
understanding.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's-
And like Laura, I probably won't make it every week, nor do I think you need me every week, but I hope
It's
to
fine.
come to the meeting, I like once a month maybe, and just, if there's anything I can do to provide insight or guidance, that's my goal. But
Yeah.
if anything comes up outside of those meetings, I am available.
All right.
Maybe
Terrific.
on that note about emails, maybe it'd be possible for all of us to put our email in the clubhouse just to make sure we all have it if we want to get to one another. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah,
Sure.
good idea.
It just makes it, if we know that we have it, I probably have most of them, but the new people, I do not. And anyway,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, communication styles and like subject lines. I remember I'm going way back to Robert Rosenthal. Robert Rosenthal was always like, don't email me on this way, or don't do it this way, and don't and subject line, make sure every subject line is different in every communication. And I remember in the beginning I was like, no, I'm forgetting. And every time I would screw it up all the time. You'd be like, Laura. So I always think about that, but there's nothing to be sorry about. It is a lot to manage, and remembering whose communication styles are. Anyway, do
Yeah.
the best that we can.
I will
Usually
say-
what I do is I make notes. So up till now, we've actually never recorded. It's only recently that we've done it a couple of times. And so I would type during the meeting and then afterwards post the notes, and then you can refer back to them at a later date. It's really easy. You just scroll down and you find them. Whereas with a recording, you're not gonna listen again to the entire thing to find that one line that you were looking for. So I suppose that we could do that again after
What the notes?
with the notes.
Well-
I actually prefer that over recording.
Now, are you going to do it?
Well, that's the thing I was thinking. Oh, I can do it, but I thought I'd just share the burden if somebody feels cold.
There are AI tools that will do that too.
I've used that. I've seen that, but for a 1 hour meeting, you'll get like 3 pages of nonsense.
There's a tool called Otter AI, and I believe there is a free version, and it will transcribe the whole meeting, but it will also condense it into like a Cliff's Notes version on top. And I've used it for meetings I had not been able to attend, and then I can skim over it, and then if I need to go into the transcript, I can. But it's so easy. Like there's no work involved. You just have to like plug it into your Zoom account. So I'm just throwing that out there as an option. I would hate to burden someone with the task of like creating notes for a meeting if AI can do that for us.
I
I was
want to
just
say
going to
what.
chime. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go. Go ahead, Elaine. Go ahead.
I just wanted to briefly say I do like notes. I'm just used to that from like board meetings. I just feel like it's nice to have like a little quick little this is what we talked about, just in case, because case in point, I haven't watched last week's yet. I just haven't had time because I'm busy right now. And I think just seeing a quick note and just being able to skim it real fast would be helpful.
And the notes that I usually make weren't very long, were they?
Oh, no.
You know, like maybe 5 to 10 lines, maybe, not longer.
I gotta say, I was gonna say before that you have been incredible. Johanna has been doing these notes repeatedly for as long as I can remember, and they've been very necessary. I know, but if it becomes if there might be a meeting and you can't make it or something, I mean, I could probably come up with some notes, but I know it sounds like I run away from these things, but I haven't. Never mind. Long explanation. I'm not going to do it for once. Just to say thank you to Johanna for doing the notes. And also, I did want to make one mention about AI, and I won't say anything more about it, right? But we have, made very clear, I guess, in the guidelines about how AI can be in our group. And I know that you brought it up just yesterday. I watched a very disturbing, on the illusion side, something about AI. And it is really going to be engulfing us in probably 6 months to a year in ways that we can't even imagine. And the thing that they did say was this, especially things of invasion of privacy to an extent we've never known before. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know whether that will affect anything, using different modes to, I go on Google and I automatically use AI, it pops up there for this and that too, but maybe it's completely something that doesn't even matter to this group. I don't know. I just thought that I would bring that matter up, and that is all. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to keep anyone from any longer than necessary, because I know this is in the middle of your workday. So if you have to go.
Well, I'm going to check out right now. I love you guys. Thank you
Well,
for
Love you.
everything. We'll be in touch.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for
Good day,
being
Laura.
here.
And Laura, let's hope that Congress sometime about tomorrow afternoon gets the TSA funded because we all have to fly to New York. Because they're going 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks on Easter break after then. So if they don't fund it, we'll be sweating through the airports, on the way to New York. So
Take a bus. No, I'm kidding. That's what they're saying to people. Take a bus. I said, oh, right. Okay. I'm with you. We'll hope that it gets funded. So
Yeah, we'll hope it gets funded.
Glad you can make it, Laura.
Okay.
love you a lot. Thank you so much. See you.
So Josh, what do you do professionally?
Oh, wait.
Well, recently I was working as like an on the street fundraiser for Boston Children's
Oh, that's
Hospital.
right.
But I'm no longer in that role, unfortunately. But so I'm back to the grind of interviewing and applying to things.
Okay.
So how wonderful that you want to spend time doing this as well. That's
Mhm.
really special.
And how long have you been with course? You said just a few weeks, Josh?
Probably a few months. I think I found
Few
it in
months.
probably like December. Um,
Okay.
and then sort of just kept coming back to it. But I'm loving it so far. I only read like 3 to 4 pages a day just because it's like so like
Dense.
complicated. Yeah.
Mhm.
For like, I just can't handle more than like 3 to 4 pages, but it's like I'm learning something new every day, and it's just been like awesome for me. It's just like the best book.
Well, if you have questions, feel free to post them in the clubhouse or in the main group, either one, or
Yeah.
that sort of thing. We happy because there's a lot to learn. I'll take 1 minute if I can at the time here, because it was mentioned earlier. This is such a critical understanding, and we talk about it all the time in the foundation. As because Judy did, she was one of the original four to bring the course in the world. Cam's mom, but level confusion. So the course is written basically on two levels, and what we call level one is where it says there is no world, and time and space are an illusion, and there's only oneness. And it's where the course says you are the Holy Son of God Himself in the workbook. Those are all level one statements, ultimate reality. Okay. But there's also, but the level two level is the level we experience where we believe that we're written, that we are. Okay. We call that level confusion. That phrase is actually only used in the course once, and it's in a different context. But it's a handy way to look at it. And we teachers typically you say level one in regards to ultimate reality, and level two. It's just a tradition that's come about. So and the course goes back and forth. It never tells you when it's changing. So you have to keep the whole thing in context, because level one says you're the Holy Son of God Himself. Level two, on the other hand, in the text, there's a line that says you, the Holy Son of God, are unaware of your own reality. So it's really introduced in the introduction to the text. First paragraph, I think line 6 in. It says, of course, does not teach the meaning of love. That's beyond what can be taught. That's a level one statement. Then he goes on to say, however, we do aim to teach how to remove the obstacles to the awareness of love's presence. Okay, so that's what level two. That's what we do here. We're working with the course aims to teach us to remove the obstacles to love's presence, separation, or because of course uses the word sin, but it's not the traditional meaning of sin. Sin means separation. The belief, and it's not even real. The belief in separation from God, fear, and guilt. So those are the obstacles that we have to work through. Of course, there's one for we have thousands of scraps that we don't even acknowledge. But the course wants to it tells us to look at those thousands of scraps, give them to the Holy Spirit for healing. And as they're removed, we become more and more aware of our reality. And here in level two, we find greater inner peace as we go along. So hopefully you're going to encounter that a lot. So, and as you read through the text, people get real confused on that. People all the time says, I'm not even here. Well, that's true in reality, but that's not your experience. Or you wouldn't be here. And the course actually says that in one place. It says you wouldn't be here unless you believed it. So
Yeah.
anyway, I just thought I would throw that in. I just have an idea that maybe that would be worth saying to somebody
I
that's
was
only been in
just
the course 3 months.
I was just going to throw out real quickly. One of my favorite lines from Gary Renard in one of his books was very simple. Don't be weird, which I try to like embrace that, because just because I have this understanding, like you're saying, level one, level two, I don't want to be weird here. Like, and so if somebody is suffering, I show up for them because that's where they are. I think it would be weird for me to go, hey, what are you doing here? Why are you feeling this? I just try to be a loving presence and be where they are in that moment, unless they're looking for my guidance in some way or direction, then I might talk about it. Yes.
Famous quote
Stop.
from Ken.
Bob wanted to interject.
Famous quote from Ken Wapnick: "Be normal."
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's good. The thing is, though, is when it gets quoted in the groups a lot, sometimes what happens is people says, "Oh, I'm a course student. I should not be normal." I should be anything
yeah,
but
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
The thing is, people, they don't understand what he's saying. They take it out of context. Once again, context is everything with the course and Ken's teaching. Uh, being normal means that you can get up and go to work and drop the kids off to school on the way while you're eating an English muffin with one hand and driving with the other. That's normal. You can do all of that and still be practicing forgiveness, which is the course's central practice. So, or meditate, or or saying a prayer, whatever. So that's what Ken means by being normal. It means you still live life. We're all still here level 2. We're all going to go to work, et cetera, et cetera. But we, at the same time, we can be doing the work in our mind. The course is about the change of mind. It has nothing to do at all with behavior, period. It's all about the change of mind. Our behavior may reflect it because we're kinder, but that's not what the central message of the course is at. It's about the change of mind.
It also says that I don't remember the line. I can't quote the way others can do, but that to deny your experience, I think it's in there. The quote was in reference to the body, is unworthy. That's a very important word, and because doing that, then you get into the place of denial, and that's another issue that you have to deal with. So, very good to be aware of the different levels and not be weird, not be weird. I would just for your sake, mainly, I found helpful for me page 28 of the Blue Book, which is the prayer that was given to Bill Thetford, and I believe it starts almost every webinar. But I read it meditatively, and many times it's helped me a great deal when I went to study then, and also to check the clarification of terms. I get to be a broken record on that one. It's at the end of the manual for teachers. It's only 15 pages, but boy, oh boy, it has really helped a lot. Even the introductory page kind of gives you a good shot at knowing what it's about. So, and mainly just relax and enjoy it because you've been called to it and we're all here together. And that's what makes it all important. So, anyway, wish you all the best, Josh.
Well,
Thank you so much.
one reason why I really was excited to have Josh on our team is we've discussed over so many years of just wanting to reach out to that younger generation, younger demographic, and how do we capture their interest? Because what Josh finds interesting and or helpful is different than what any of us would deem helpful or interesting. So I think we can really lean into his perspective as a newbie. And like I think it was Alan said, post your questions in the group. That is going to be gold. Even if you think, I mean, if it were me, I'd be like, oh, do I sound dumb here? I'm not putting that on you. But if it were me, I would probably hold myself back out of like fear of like appearing stupid around all these people that know so much. So I don't know if that's your case, but if so, please don't, because I think there's so many people that want to help and guide you. And we've talked in other meetings too about what the beauty is of having the new students with the more seasoned, educated, wise scholars is we can all help each other. And I hope that, we can all embrace that because I think it's actually a really cool gift that you're giving us, Josh.
That is
Your
so
inexperience
sweet.
is just what we need, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is like the most loving Zoom meeting in the history of humanity.
Something, Josh, I think that it's too bad you didn't know her. She's passed. Emmanuel Rosenthal, who began the group, actually, she kind of set the basic tone, I think, right away when you knew where she was coming from. There are many groups, you probably or will encounter them, and I'm not bad-mouthing them by any means, but this one is it's always been an embracing kind of atmosphere. We wanted to have that from the very beginning. And then as others came in, Johanna and Alan and Bob, and it stayed and it's gotten better and better. And with you young ones, and you are young compared to us. And I know it's in the illusion, but I'm not being unworthy in denying it. So but you're so welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I really am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Talking about groups, the Foundation for Inner Peace hosts a Tuesday workbook discussion group. Are you aware of that? You might want to check it out.
Yes, I'm almost positive I get the emails for them, but They seem to show like Thursday evenings. So that must be a different one.
The Thursday is this one, but the one that or the webinars are often on Thursdays. But what I'm talking about is like a live discussion group, like with 20 people discussing a workbook lesson. And it's being moderated by volunteers for the foundation. And on Monday, the announcement always goes up in the group. So you'll see it on Mondays for the
That
Tuesday
sounds-
following. It's an hour, and it's kept, it might appeal to you. It might, you might also think, no, that's not my thing. That's fine. But I just thought I'd mention it.
That sounds great. I would love to visit that.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, and the
definitely on
recordings.
my things
Sorry.
to do.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
for you too. Yeah. And if you want to check it out, the recordings are on the foundation's YouTube channel. Are you familiar with that? The YouTube channel that the foundation has?
Yes. Yeah.
The past recordings are there. The workbook discussion sessions. So you can check it out. Just for 5 minutes, you can see if that appeals to you at all. Then you don't
That
have
would
to
be-
keep your agenda open for it if you just check it out that way.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much for telling me about that.
Yeah. Okey-doke.
We gone silent?
Yeah, that never happens.
Rarely. And especially when you mentioned like when sometimes people don't show up and we end up chatting. So you want to have some really good squishy moments. You'll have some when you have nothing particular to talk about. It really
Well,
gets nice.
I didn't want to take up anyone's time, but I do have a question I've thought about maybe emailing a couple of you guys about. I'm looking for like a book recommendation, course related, of course. I thought to maybe email Alan and ask because it's kind of maybe historical-ish. I don't know. I don't know what I need. But I do have something that I'm wanting to ask. Just you guys have a lot of knowledge about the course, and I thought, what better group to ask to give me some direction on a book I could read. So I may reach out to you guys or post it in the. I've been
Post
a
it
little
in the
hesitant.
clubhouse, then anyone who
Yeah.
feels like they can add something, they'll add something. The clubhouse
Yeah.
isn't only for Let's Discuss, it's also for us to just,
Yeah.
connect about personal or course-related
Yeah.
personal stuff.
Yeah, I think it will just help my practice too to get some recommendations on yes,
Yeah.
So there's
Elaine?
that.
Yeah,
Elaine?
post it, Elaine.
Yes.
Now I'm curious, and I've read a lot of stuff tonight. Probably not as much as Alan, but if I can be helpful, I will.
Bob?
Elaine, are you familiar with the for Course Miracle Ken's work?
Ken's
Elaine?
work?
Bob's cutting out.
Yeah, you're cutting out, Bob.
I
Ken
think you said
Wapnick? Are you talking about Ken Wapnick?
Yeah, I was talking about Foundation for A Course in Miracles, and Kenneth Wapnick's writings are available online there. And you
yeah,
can
and
buy them
I do
too,
have
so
some. I have
that's
a lot
really-
of his work.
That's the master class right there.
Yes.
It's a life's work.
Yeah. I have his Shakespeare series, and there's several things that I have.
Yeah. Good
But
stuff.
yeah, I have, and I did have questions about that. I guess this is group related, because I've wondered about that. Like the only book that, do I have it right that the FIP, the main book is just the blue book? Because when Ken was around, it was also his material, and so that's separated now from what I understand. Do I have that right?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
the blue book is this is the standard now, and especially now with the new guidelines, the blue book is the standard because that's the original. And so anything that comes having to do with the course, referencing it back to the original, you'll see other versions and other things, but you can always be sure that that's where you get the meat and potatoes. But I'm going to say one last thing too. I'm sure that Kim has good knowledge of different books and different articles and things, and so does Johanna. But Alan is what I would call an ACIM encyclopedia. So if no, I mean it, he's read more than you can ever imagine, seriously. So if you have any really extensive questions that we can't give you answers for, check with him. That's my
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so
But if she puts it in the clubhouse, we can all read what Ellen
sure.
answers.
Right, and of course other people have input too. But yeah, real briefly, Elaine. So so Ken's organization, he it was one of the original four that, yes, we all know, that brought the course into being. Helen was the scribe, he was co-scribe. Ken helped edit in terms of punctuation, capitalization. Helen did all the content, and then Judy became the publisher. So those four, they were on the executive board of the Foundation for Inner Peace from day one until they all respectively passed away. Okay, but Ken, in addition, set up a separate organization because the voice that scribed to Helen also gave her a scribal message, one of the special messages that Ken was to teach the course, right? So Ken set up a separate teaching organization called FACIM, Foundation for Course in Miracles, FACIM. And it was for while Ken was alive, which is until 10 years ago, whatever, maybe a little longer. But he
13,
13, okay. Anyway, he was his FACIM was the sister organization to FIP. So all of his books were never part of the FIP per se, but it was like they called it the sister organization and the teaching arm of the FIP. Now, when he passed away, FACIM changed its mission from being the sister organization to preserving the integrity of Ken's work, as ARE does for Edgar Cayce, for example. So they exist in that kind of thing, and all of his stuff is still available there. The FIP publishes only the Blue Book, and they publish one other book, Journey Without Distance, which was written by Bob Scutch, which was Judy's husband at the time. It was written early in the course history, early on. 84, I think it came out. It was a brief history of the course to that point, how it came to be. It's not too long, and it's really fairly engaging read, So that's where we're at. But Ken wrote a bunch of stuff. He has Absence from Felicity, which is a biography of Helen, but a very special kind of biography is a standard, In fact, if you're interested in the history on the FIP guide on our main page, the LD page, the Facebook group page, under the guide section, in the first section, there's one of the entries that I entered there is a list of histories that you can read about the course. Lots of web links to the articles on the FIP website, as well as a list of books that are legitimate. So if that answers some of your questions to get you started in regards to the history of the course.
I want to add one thing to that. Make sure that you go to acim.org, which is the main foundation page, if you haven't already. I spent an hour or two not too long ago going through it. There's so much stuff to give background about the course itself, the history, and other things you'll see there too, and might even give you some ideas of additional material. You're probably getting overload here, but what the heck, We'll put most of the stuff in the Clubhouse, but ask anything there. But I found the acim.org is a really good reference place, especially the facts section. I think that too.
All right, everyone, we've come to the top of the hour.
Yeah, we have.
You'll have to save the rest for next week or use the Clubhouse.
Right.
We'll see you there.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kim.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.